Hey, well, good morning, everybody. Bill Uten is bringing you another episode of Mindset Monday, where we start our week on positivity and on purpose. I'm a big fan of former basketball coach John Wooden. Most of you are familiar, have heard of John Wooden. John Wooden coached at UCLA, won a ton of national championships back when Kareem went to school. He was an amazing man, and he was an amazing coach. And one of his quotes, he talks about. And quoting him, it says, "It's the little details that are vital. Little things make things happen and make big things happen." And so there's a story about John Wooden, is that every time when there was a new basketball player that came onto the team, he would sit down with them and teach them how to put their socks and their shoes on correctly. And what he talked about, why this was so important, because if you didn't do that, put them on correctly, you could get blisters on your feet. And then if you got blisters on your feet, well, then you couldn't practice. And then if you couldn't practice, right, you couldn't stay in shape. And if you couldn't stay in shape, then right, you couldn't be on the team or perform at the level of where he wanted you to be and where you would want to be as a player. And it was just so interesting to think about that, of like, that's where he started, with the little things of just like literally these players, coming in were some of the best players coming out of high school, going to UCLA to play for Coach Wooden. And no telling how many times, obviously, they put their socks and their shoes on. But what he understood that it was the little things. If we can't do the little things correctly, then they don't lead to the big things. And are we going to be able to do the big things when those happen? And it's similar to, I spent 6 years in the Air Force, and going through, basic training is they basically have you're folding your underwear into a 6-inch square, your t-shirts and all of that. And the reason that they do that isn't because they care that they're folded in squares. It's that, can you follow simple directions? Can you do the little things? Because if we can't, right, then more than likely we're probably not going to be able to do the big things. And so I shared that with you today. Is I think that sometimes we just kind of overlook. We're like, oh, well, the little things don't matter. And I would argue that the little things are what matters the most, because without those, and it's little things, how we can apply that into our life is really, if you read 10 pages a day in a book, you can roughly read 12 books a year. Right? Think about that. 20 push-ups a day, right, leads to 7,000 repetitions over the course of a year, right? Send just a quick text to someone, a text of like appreciation. I'm just thinking about you today. How that can help build a relationship. So don't overlook the little things. I would say focus on those little things, because they're going to make and can make such a big difference in your life. So that's what I've got for you today on today's Mindset Monday. As I always share this with you, hey, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you, as you're taking this, as me, as I look at this and kind of go, okay, hey, where can I step into doing those little bit things better and more consistent. So, hey, everybody, have a great week. Thank you for tuning in and for watching. And I will see you guys back here next Monday. Bye-bye now.